Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how news again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, I just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the people, the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how news again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wahala now we had, I just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like.
Good morning and welcome to another edition of a program where we call Progress right on we are on YouTube and on Facebook. Also we can discuss issues then with the front page of the newspaper that they carry for the day. And we as well there be people inside where they come and discuss or help with to analyze the different issues that way the newspaper then don't carry. So after one long week of break, one for say we glad for the with you again today after a wonderful vacation. Thank you very much to God. And thanks to you as well, we don't give you support for make sure say this channel they go out is supposed for grow. So one more time we very much happy for day with you in with different programs then. So if you just to join me, don't forget to like and share the program. And as well, if you not subscribed yet, don't forget to the challenge they on 85,993 subscribers on YouTube, 77,000 on Facebook. Thank you very much. We appreciate that so much. So we go straight to the different paper. Then we will watch the paper. Then we'll get inside the program this morning. And we'll start with the Awoko newspaper. The Awoko newspaper said 25 years of unbiased reporting. Massive ship arrives today and plans 2,350 free surgeries. And you as well get a major police operation results in arrest of 60 suspects linked to Kush trade. And you get defense presents case in anti-election protest trial. This another story for you inside this edition of the Awoko newspaper. The next one is the Concord Times newspaper, where say Niger coup, ECOWAS rejects 3 years time frame, and you get Slimmer celebrate 2023 Unarmed Cultural Festival, and you get over 2,000 Sierra Leoneans to benefit from massive ship. The next paper, now the Premier News, where say World Bank Director discusses project with Finance Minister. Study identifies policy failure in management of informal settlement. And you as well get Lebanese remanded in case of $389,000 fraud and 7-year-old witness grandmother's brutal murder. The next paper, now the Forum newspaper, we say big blow for SLPP. Free quality education fails the nation. U.S. ambassador accentuates the fragility of Sierra Leone. And information minister discredited. The African 24 is the free quality education free at all. They get conspiracy and Lansney. 2 OSD and 7 convicted. Women's Forum visit Lands Minister. Over 2 billion Leone's theft. MP drag youth to court. Local council on flood mitigation. The next one at the Apex newspaper, Minister undermines Salone-US relations, championing agriculture. Honorable Boyma commend President Bio's push for prosperity. And the next paper, now the Tribune Times, we say people love kush more than food. West Africa growing drug problem. And MBSSE to roll out senior school curriculum in September. New policy to eliminate cervical cancer. EPA destroyed 18 mining rigs in Bo Tonkolili. And 67 in police net for kush peddling. Salone Times, Cornell University to be completed in 3 years. ICC award Benka Koka for his long service in cricket administration. Minister are unaware Minister are answerable to Parliament, not permanent secretaries, and release detainees arrested for election-related issues. Labour Congress calls on government to review Trade Act. The next paper, now the New Age newspaper, where say Bio's appointment of Atata as Youth Commissioner appeases SLPP grassroots. And gender mainstreaming is a national call. UN Women Project Manager tells participants the community approach to fight against kush. It is the right or wrong way. The next one, a Nature newspaper, will say 60% of male admitted for kush. NPAA signed MOU with counterpart in Liberia. DHMT engages paramount chief on Lassa fever. And 67 people in police custody. This is another story for inside this edition of the Nature newspaper. Well, all the paper and this one we actually get inside the paper, inside the program this morning, and we'll take a short break and then bring we get them inside for then we actually start to discuss the different issues then.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how news again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for it in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them where they can help for talk about the newspaper. We are channel for the voice of the voiceless.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how news again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for it in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to join me on Monday to Friday, both Facebook and YouTube. Usai we go bring to una different guests them.
Alright, welcome back, and very sorry for playing along. We actually tried to figure out one of the other guest them. Wait for join me inside. Actually didn't at the Zoom, but in order hearing we means that we get for being come over to the WhatsApp. Moi side hearing we please. Okay, I don't know, but I know hearing you. I don't know if you hearing me, but anyway, if you hearing me, then we will get for bring you over on the WhatsApp. All right, and we one of the guests we get inside the program this morning, Alphonsus Bani. Alphonsus Bani, we na the admin for Human Rights Defenders Network, and it is with we inside the program. Good morning and welcome to the program, Mr. Bani.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, and good morning, viewers.
All right. Thank you for making time for day with we inside the program this morning. Well, as well, they expect a day with we, but we get challenged for even at the Zoom. So, like I said, we will get for being come over on the WhatsApp for a day with we. In name na Moisa Kekura from the Future newspaper. Moisa always on the day with we here as well for actually help for analyze the issues them, just like Mr. Bani we himself can on day with we that the program for analyze the different issues then. So when they start with the different issues then now, or the different paper them inside. Let's start with this one where don't tell like one another set. I don't know if I go refer to if I say for say now another health emergency where don't they come up right now. The issue of kush inside the country, we get a lot of young people in. Now we even they see like for say the community themselves don't take them up for say then they go with different level now. Then they beat them, they run after them. We see police themselves, they broke them, put them and all things then. So first of all, what you make up of this thing here so where they go on right now, and the involvement or the engagement of youth into this issue of kush.
Thank you very much. In the first place, any children of a dangerous substance to the citizens and the community, and when they affect the growth and development of meaningful citizens, in this country, we totally condemn them. We dey against the use of any abusive substance where they affect the young generation to the extent where they are among their brain, where they therefore contribute to national development. We also condemn any form of violent action for address the issue of kush. We condemn them outrightly. It's not justifiable in any court of law. It's not justifiable in any civilized society. In the fight against kush, like I see something around social media over the go rounds, where youth man and they beat one woman because he go sell kush. We condemn them outrightly. We not believe say violence they address an issue. There are procedures. We not there in the country of jungle justice. There is rule of law. If they identify that man and somebody they sell kush, then they take on now the law. Let the law take in course. Then find them guilty. They pay the price for that one day. So while we condemn the use of substance and the one day where they bring a car for cancel, we also condemn the approach, particularly the violent approach where people they use for curb out the sales and the distribution and consumption of kush. We totally be against that one day. We believe say there are a lot of ways they for address the issue of kush, for engage youths. And for make people understand, say, when you take them, it affects you. But not to forget attack violently. Police conduct in terms of destroying boats, well, that one day a normal, what you say, once they no go beat posse, they meet a boat, posse people they run away, you can destroy that boat as a means of, destroying the source of where the product itself they come out, so that it not go continue again for go.
So according to the minister of health, he says 60% of male admitted for kush. So in other words, the people the way they go admit it also serious that then they admit now serious one because they're not able to resist again the substance.
Of course, because they take them to the extent where they become an abuse. Everything when you take them, pass mark, it don't become an abuse, because even food where they eat, we eat food to tell you colic, you don't abuse the food. It is sick. So how much more now they go take dangerous substance, you take them to the extent where it even affect you. So you must know now the impact we go create. We believe that the government need for step up their response to the kush situation.
So how you go link this to economic, this economic situation? Because look at this paper, when at the Tribune Times like exactly what it say, because this one look funny but sort of kind of serious. He say people love kush more than food. West Africa's growing drug problem. So look, some people feel say when they don't take the kush, they don't need for it. That they keep them going. In fact, it make them sleep at some points for some time. They don't need for it. But all of this thing, yeah.
No. I beg for differ. What they talk, just like when person talks, you get problem. You get problem, you go take omole. You still like forget about the problem. We don't take the check. You just sleep.
But wait, it come back to the problem. That is true, but most people don't come back to the problem.
So wait, they come back to the problem. So yes. The same thing. Even if you're hungry, you say they take push or make you sleep, make you forget about the hunger. When you wake, it may talk about the hunger. So to me, I disagree not to the appropriate way for link the use of kush. One thing I believe on the use of kush, now addiction. Now where you don't begin takes until one become part of you. Just like a good man, they smoke cigarettes. So man, the way they begin smoke cigarettes, it is smoke and puff and fast, one. Say we begin use to the cigarettes now. It take an inhale, it send a right inside belly, it pull them back because it don't become professional. It don't become a professional in cigarette smoking. And we not get the cigarette for smoker. They see they do all kinds of things. Now the situation of a kush, not because of hunger, not because of economic situation. Now, because people don't become addicted for take kush, for say, when I take them, just like some man, they think say, if you not drink, they feel fine. If you not smoke, they feel fine. Some man, if you're not cham cola, they feel fine. Some man, you're not cham bitter cola, they feel good. Now, so the situation of kush so not because of hunger, not because of the economic situation, because the thing is even expensive. For the economic situation, man, they go look for something when 500 euros. But you they consider 5,000, 10,000 back. What you get for interest? You don't get for interest again. For say the economic situation, it's not the economic situation. Now, just because people don't become addicted to them, that making the continue.
On that note, I think I want to stay with you. I think it makes sense for say some of the drugs that we people they buy, it actually expensive part of the food. But then they buy the drugs than the food. Anyway, continue for the week. Let us go to the WhatsApp line now. We get Moisa Kekula from Future Newspaper. Moisa, thank you for joining me.
Yes, sir. You're welcome. Exactly.
Okay, so Moisa, when they talk about the issue of this kush, as you don't be serious for 60% of the man the way they admit right now because of kush. And they say people are not the youth man now they love the kush than the food. Tell me, what do you think about the issue where they go right now?
Well, in the first book, this kush issue, we therefore go up the management of this government, the perpetrators them first, and them for handle. Let them therefore curtail some of these drugs here where they carry for damage with people them now this country. That is one of the issues we have to look at. Generally, but it is a high secret issues that even you as a media okay, but there are certain issues we address into this kind of things. Now I'm happy people don't begin to demonstrate. People don't begin to demonstrate against all the things and they so it go cut down because it don't spoil a lot of youth their life in this country. It don't destroy a lot of women's. They are all included into this practice. So if they don't start this kind of demonstration, this kind of things them for see say they cut down some of them kind attitude there, then it's good. It's good for the country, but really the one the way they come with this push for this country, that then are the perpetrators the first we need for handle professionally. If we handle those ones, then I think the pushback will cut down because they don't begin handle the youths them where they take them and the one the way they sell them. So if now we they handle the perpetrators them, it go fine. So the police need for do a thorough investigation for those who are importing some of these dangerous drugs in the country, so that they will be arrested and bring them to the law.
Okay, so
And I believe say if that happen,
how powerful you feel say the one the way they can with them crucial to be, because in most cases some of the police them they even they take the same thing where we talk about. So when we say most of them know who side them here they come out. Moisa, are you with me?
well, if the police know who side the coup, if the police deal with we, and then the police they know about the issues the way they go on, then at the same time then they pretend they know, then it's dangerous. Then I'm those kind of the police we have in this country of these dangerous things, and then you are pretending, and then they are now out of this trying to deal with the youth. They are not dealing with the right channel. If that be, according to your question, if that be the case, and the perpetrators that we need to be handled, because when they handle them, then I think this issue will be less down in this country. Because seriously, brother, plan no lie, it too painful for see parents then they suffer when picking them. At the end of the day, you can see the language in this country, then kush. Then kush. And all the dangerous then they put in the car with you, they say, na diamambo. Na diamambo. Things say, na country, my dear, it's very painful for the parents there. Because we got picking them that they destroy. You're welcome, sir.
All right, and you still watch. We are please don't be at the sound from Moisa. Two things: the network and other things. I'm very sorry about that. And the program that progress on we are on YouTube and Facebook. And we also get mute line for fire if you can to you on mute.
Okay.
Yes. Alfonso, since we talk about this push and we see, oh no, Moisa. Okay, yes. I said since we talk about this push and we find out say people they don't begin the beat people and where they take this push so na street. Let me move to another issue where happened few days ago of one popular youth man where they call Arata, where we see again some other youth them beat him and at the end of the day he lost in life. In a situation like this, they hear all kind of things now. They go all around, with regards to that particular thing. There, a lot of people say this person did not be perpetrator of violence before, so that is why violence come back. As a human rights defender, which you make up of, the thing where they do to them and act before this time.
What you will say is when something wrong yesterday, a wrong today, it happened back, a wrong tomorrow, a wrong. There is no way they justify somebody in conduct because if don't do this for happen. And there is no way we talk about proportionality in crime. Crime not proportionate. Because crime not proportionate, now that make way man chief. You hold up. You can't go to police, they charge and a court. The court look at find and guilty, they send and jail. If we talk about say crimes proportionate, where are chief? Therefore, go chief me. Where are rape? Therefore, rape me. We don't begin to talk about proportionality in crime. And so, if Arata be the beat people, the tell me the beat people, anyone who will beat, he get the rights and responsibility for taking the due process of the law against her. And so, there is no reason or anything on the way justified for say therefore can't beat her because if don't beat people, take away can lead to in death. So the one they only beat only to indict, police need for investigate. It just like when somebody go thief you go catch her, you wait impossible, it thief you. You beat her, you don't put blood on her, take it and come before police. That blood the police see and first part, as they see that blood, then they ask for should I beat her. Police they forget about the thief when you talk about thief, they arrest you because you don't beat and wound that person. So in other words, when they talk about law and crime, there's a complete difference. When we commit a crime and watching the law for do with me, now two different things. So me are committing a crime to you, you get a responsibility for taking me to the law. Make the law find me guilty of what I don't commit and then punish me for the crime I commit. But if we do the talk say, would they take law in our hands? The principles of the rule of law, our law and order, are not applicable again. We leave what we refer to as jungle justice. You do me, I do you, survivors of the fittest. So would that get strong? Would that get opportunity? Now they survive. It's not going to be a very good society at all. So I think say what they do to Arata, it be wrong. What Arata be do, it be wrong. And anybody who continue for doing that, it will continue for being wrong again. And
look at this sort of thing. I think the police then get a responsibility when for protect lives and property, right?
Of course, yes.
And we always say in human rights, also your rights the end and there's somebody your rights the beginning. So before this term, we know they look down there as a precedent, but let's look at this. Before this term, several times, because you say if person no say Arata be don't do something at that time, if I don't use the due process, we don't hear of several cases then where then they carry Arata go to police. The minute when they come on a police, well, whether not from call and they call the police or what, the next minute they don't left her back. It like what happen. We see it go one ten Wilkins, you go one boutique day. It go take people and things there inside there. It damage things them. Then can't go police. The next minute they don't release her back. Then we see back recently, just I think before or after the election, it take the mayor in Mutuka, it go damage the Mutuka, it kidnap the Mutuka, it go damage them. Then can't go police. By the time the mayor they reach there, then don't release them back. All of them things they are. We don't see suicide, it don't display cutlass na video. They say in a this person, even in favor of the government. The next time you see if even they arrest her, then they left her back within the next seconds. When they say seconds, within 5 minutes, all of that they don't come to end. So people then don't see say whatever time they can go. I know they support violence, but anytime they can go, police not they take any action. And they continue for damage people and they continue for abuse people and nothing not they come out of that day. You not think say people and they get tired with certain things at certain point?
I think no, people don't forget tired. And now also the responsibility of the under the case go. When police don't take action, the world you don't become so civilized and the rule of law don't become so good that it give you all rooms, opportunities for use, other opportunities and avenues. If me be the care go Arata, now police, I don't go left into police. Police 1 10, 2 10, 3 10, police they release them. And one no say there's sufficient evidence for the crime we don't commit. Police they release them because of any other reason. There's another state institution where they establish for police accountability.
So the question is, how many people are aware of that?
Well, except otherwise, but I believe say a number of people they make use of CDID, now police, and a number of people they make use of the Independent Police Complaint Board.
Yes, that are the one them way really enlightened and get idea.
People are aware of.
Majority of people not aware of them things then they.
No, I'm not quite really sure. I believe say from the time when they established CDID and the Independent Police Complaint Board, a number of citizens they use then to institutions.
Let me, Mr. Bali, let me be honest in this point. For my own case, for example, for me, let me be honest with you for once, yeah. I not say CDID day, I not say the Independent Police Complaint Board day. But waiting at the procedure for go through, I don't know.
You don't know?
Yes.
No, well, the thing is, you don't go know if not approach the police. You go to police stations, then police station, you go complain say na so thing, they go tell you, oh, this case not to we handle am. Now CDID case, then they refer you. Then the police and say, then we shall get this case against now this don't happen. They go say, oh no, this not to we case. If you can't go case when a family issue, somebody go say, oh no, this not to criminal, this is an FSU case, which go na social side. You know, when you approach the institution, you explain yourself. Even among themselves, they go tell you, no, this not to we case. This social person in the handler. If not to CDID case, they will tell you, no, this is an independent police complaint board. They will also refer that one day. Until we engage state institutions, the challenge will always be there. So we as citizens, we equally get responsibility for follow-up, for ask, for inquire.
But you not say right now inside the country, anybody will get linked to politics, especially the ruling government, most of the cases they're not the pass. You agree?
Yeah, I agree with you. That one day, what don't happen? Time memorial. In fact, from law talk say from waiting back from David and Goliath.
Fine. So if that be the case, most of this, like this particular individual they talk about, so it totally linked to politics. In as much as they do all of the acts outside politics, but in link because, for example, there was a time when even pulled video say, "Madam, nobody do this for you. Nobody do this for you. You don't do this now for you. You don't avoid we. You don't this. But now this now we pull display cutlass and other things there. They show in act them." But police not say anything, police not ever arrest them for even them things in there. But if not any other person now, he pull cutlass say this not for Marabio, the next minute say police is saying and they arrest them, right?
Yes, I don't talk about this medium, and I'm talking about several times that we it's unfortunate, and I get a lot of sympathy for the Sierra Leone police, and I also get high respect for the Sierra Leone police. My late uncle na been police officer, he don't die. Me two brothers, they all don't serve at the police, they all don't die. One mommy, one daddy, as I talk to you. And I get a number of relatives that will within the police. My uncles also don't serve at the police, he don't die. I know what he mean. In fact, the previous IG Munu, na my mama is small brother. So I know the implications and the impact of the Sierra Leone police. Why are they sympathize with them? Why are they also share their challenges? It's very challenging. These are the same police when Akewe talk say, we not get inside Sierra Leone, we not get much more of what we refer to as democratic policing. Now what we get now regime police. Today, now SLPP they in power. All what the police for do, anything we get political motivated, we get issues related to politics. As long as you inform the ruling party, that particular issue, the police they become silent. And that's what happened for every regime. So SLPP they now, in fact, not support for I always talk say not support for the Sierra Leone police. We support for the talk say SLPP police. Where APC come, we say APC police. If in a PMDC can power, we say PMDC police because then they work within the dictates of the regime who they in power. That's the unfortunate situation. We not see any situation where police don't really talk say, no, I'm sorry, I know they do this because the primary responsibility of the Sierra Leone police now for the maintenance of law and order, save lives and property of the state and the citizens. And you're not supposed for discriminate. Whether a ruling party is related to a ruling party or related to the opposition, is related to ordinary civilians. But these are the unfortunate situations where police can find themselves in. And the only thing we go try for remove that one day, now for ensure say we at least remove the because if you look at the Sierra Leone Police Act, the vice president, now the chairman of the police council, and inside the police council, the IG now member of the police council, the minister of internal affairs, now the member of the police council, and the vice chair of the police council. So you get the vice president, you get the minister of internal affairs. They get now the police will come inside. And all the two bodies there, so now they control the Sierra Leone police. So what do you think say is something don't happen where get connections to them two bodies there, the local government, the internal affairs government, the vice president, what they did. Police can not go for do anything because they listen to the instructions and directives. And so until we get something where they disconnect that situation, then police will begin to act independently. That's on one side. The other aspect again, now the issue of enumeration to the Sierra Leone police. If they see a police officer where na one crown. You hear me? Na BSc holder. You dey see somebody with a BSc holder, and then a directorate of education. Then get the same degree, but the salary wey they pay, that man with a directorate of education, and that BSc man with a one crown, na the Salone police. In fact, it completely different. So all the thing they also create the police for also do not they do service as to how they for do am. And so we the people back of this country, we also need for do justice to this institution we believe say they protect lives and property to this country. We really get for do a rethink to the security sector. So why would they condemn their conduct and action? We also get for talk say they are equally human beings. They get families. They get for live. They have to survive. So if there's anything they undermine their existence and their survival, how did they align themselves? And that's the dilemma. And I sympathize with them. And I feel for them. If they see police officers, they retire from police, the next week they go see them. Now security work. In those days.
Okay.
But even now we don't get at least graduates inside the
since you talk about this police and how they for disconnect them, for the police from that of the politics, because we make a political head, and the police boss will be answerable to the political head. Let's move to this issue quickly. You watch or you listen to 98.1 interview with the ambassador, US ambassador, and that of the minister of information.
Unfortunately, I've not been listening. Somebody na me try for explain to me, but I've not been fortunate for get the opportunity for listening because I've been there on another program.
Because I want to get your opinion before I read it in the paper. Say Apex paper say minister undermines Salone US relations.
Yeah, well, I see the headlines because then I can see the electronic what you said where they can also post on social media. I see the headlines, but we don't know to which extent will the minister will undermine the Salone US relationship. We go for look at the two dynamics. I'm not listening to the program, and we also go for look at in any country as diplomats. We also get statute limitations as to how we relate. We represent with government in a foreign country, and we also get control as to how many times they can talk say they really interfere into domestic politics. They can only advise. They not can come out openly for profile solutions or for even talk about the domestic politics. Mm-hmm. That's not the rule of diplomatic provisions and policies. Mm-hmm. And so if there is a breach on that from the diplomatic angle, government can say, I will do this. And I will give typical example. I think it will be understand what will happen between the EU and Emasi Lamina, right? Mm-hmm. Some time ago, parliamentarian. Mm-hmm. And it will be understand again, even what will happen previous year during the APC with Mohamed Bagoura now, with Stolenberg, not so. Yeah. When a diplomat, a government they gets an issue with a diplomat, many times the government they become constraints, not for attack directly, but they can get people the way they can act on behalf of the state. Like what in Emasi Lamina do, attack the EU. Not only for saying now the government do, government can say not to me, but that person did be member of parliament.
Okay. So since you, I don't know, let me put the issue then.
Maybe my member Bagoura how they attack Stolenberg.
Yeah.
The president at that time no go talk now we say now, but it speak the hearts and minds of the government.
So let me look at the issues then we come out of this in an interview. This is an interview, okay? In the interview, it talk about the election, and it maintained the point that they still get issue with the election. The credibility of the results announced because of it not being transparent. When at the initial position down there, the EU, the Qatar Center, at the initial position down there, and that's now one of the reasons we make them not still congratulate the president. And make them very clear say the president Marabion are the president of Sierra Leone, but in as much as they know congratulate him, but yet still not the president of Sierra Leone. And he talk about their own policy with Salone. For example, he talk about the MCC. The election go and bog the MCC money where they get for C. Say because they put an hold to that money there for now. You know, so he not talk, he make a very clear, say, waiting whatever it talk, whatever it do, not to in your decision, not to in your word where it talk, but not the government, because no one individual, not they act on behalf of the United States. And they act on behalf of a government, and are waiting in government choose for do, na end they act on. So that is one. And it makes several other points them where how they plan again for work with the government in terms of the other projects them, but at the same time they scale down on some of the other projects them. So this now basically waiting them as a government intend for do inside Sierra Leone. You know, where anybody can say that and not ever interfere and say this not for go this way, and even say then for dialogue, APC and SLPP for dialogue, and even say the APC, they call on the APC, if you don't call on the APC, not for boycott parliament, not for boycott governance issue. So all of this, I think, in my opinion, I still feel say they within a mandate.
Yeah, you. That's your opinion. You're relatively correct with your opinion, and you see, the diplomatic world is very delicate and very complex. And when you talk about more diplomacy, not hypocrisy, I just want to be very more blunt or more specific. And so there are times, even when they address issues as a diplomat, they address it like how many civil society they address issues. They address it like how a politician they address issues. You address them in a way where you put them in a way where nobody really understand some.
So in other words, not put them in a clear way. You for always talk that hypocrite way.
But now let me tell you, diplomacy is hypocrisy. So a diplomat not they behave like civil society. A diplomat not they behave like a politician. These are clear diplomats. A diplomat is different from even a politician. Even like Biden is a politician. If ambassador here now diplomatic position now and then, now clear diplomat, their statement, their utterances is different from how politicians they conduct themselves, like Congress when they talk. Then they don't talk, it's different. When a career diplomat they talk. So those are all things we distinct. We high commissioner to Britain. Now diplomatic career and when they talk, if it will be different from how politicians they talk in country or how they even make a statement, or also even some ministers when they talk, it's different. And so we have to look at the language. I know they attack the ambassador and get it right for say what he get for say, or just look at the circumstance from the diplomatic perspective. That when you are a diplomat, the language, your tonation, your communication, therefore, they within the confines of the diplomatic principles. And so the moment you go beyond the interpretation, you remember when we get the AFIC coup, where Victor Bao began. Victor Bao, remember Victor Bao, Ghana, foreign minister. Comes every day on the street. He said, "Did you see cops on the street?" No. Did you see soldiers killing people? No. Did I go to church on Sunday? Yes. That was a complete hypocritical statement. We are fully aware in this country that there are cops in the streets. But
so
he said no.
You don't feel the world they move away from that kind of diplomacy?
No, they can't. It's not about the world moving away from that diplomacy. If the world they move away from that diplomacy, we are being very sincere and honest in terms of diplomacy. Some of who they cry based on human rights principles. They condemn the atrocities where they happen, Palestine and Israel. To which extent where the United States as a government don't condemn the killings of Palestinians in Israel. When you talk about saying we don't move away from that diplomacy, tell me to what time.
Two different things. Because that one they not about diplomacy. It's about the support and the partnership between Israel and that of US.
Excuse me, sir. You use one word when they can make that reference. You say they move away from that type of diplomacy.
So diplomacy different from party business.
That type of diplomacy.
It's different from party.
That type of diplomacy, I think say we get all responsibilities as institutions and as states and as governments. You hear me? Me know they talk about, I know they go into the issues of what happened. We all get to your own issues. We all condemn. We all raise concerns about elections accountability, election transparency, or whatsoever. You hear me? But within the diplomatic community, diplomats get responsibility to their conduct, their statements, their utterances to the government and to the status side that they operate.
If I get you,
they equally get a responsibility for respect the principles of the diplomatic community.
If I get you very well, in the beginning of this particular discussion, you not listen to the interviews then, but now you kind of, they come out say, waiting like in disguise, waiting the US ambassador say, and not be supposed to don't come out, plain one and say all of that.
So are they replying to based what you talk? Now what you explain to me now, I don't think
now based on that, yes.
So now make a try for bring down the issue up to you, the diplomatic, what you mean again, there is a whole school of thoughts in the diplomatic realm. Even the way they talk, even the courtesies, even the way that they talk, even the way that they snap, even for snap photo shoots, even for beat, for talk. Now a whole
professional course for that, yes?
Exactly. So now that is give me a chance for talk. Me they look at from the diplomatic angle. The way they talk as civil society. If they put me as a diplomat, my brother, at the change automatically, the big the way they talk. Because it limits you as to how you cannot speak like they talk like they talk as civil society. There is a difference. So I not talk on the basis that at least I talk based on what you explain to me and look at within the diplomatic framework as to how diplomat they for conduct. Me don't work with diplomat based on me own job. I don't work with them for quite a very long time. I don't also handle the role of a diplomat, serving the UN, becoming a training consultant for the United Nations on charity and child protection. So I don't go to different countries where they engage the diplomatic community, and even inside the role even the officer the role where they work right now, and they engage the diplomatic community. And so when they discuss with them back, they really know their response, their body language. In fact, when they talk to themselves, the way they respond to you, the way they look at you, the way they talk, they don't say whether what they present is of their interest or not of their interest. They really understand. It takes time for make people even understand the diplomatic community, how they operate.
So since we talk about that, they drop you or can you go into another issue quickly? We get for do with the ECOWAS. The Concord Times now one of the banner headlines by the way, when you take for the morning say Niger ECOWAS rejects 3 years in time frame. So the question we me particularly ask you, why so much concern over the Niger from the ECOWAS? Not to Mali, not to Guinea, or could happen. Why Niger? Because
why Niger?
Yes.
The simple answer to that. Now, how I call them, they try to do a cover up of failures. Let me tell you, ECOWAS will don't become one of the best sub-region inside Africa. We make even some North African countries, including Morocco. Morocco be even vowed for can't join ECOWAS because of the stability, the coordination, the rules they put, their corporations or whatsoever. But they fall short. Once ECOWAS begin fall short. Now when we begin see ECOWAS countries, then they undermine the principles of democracy. We don't see what will happen at Ivory Coast when they change the constitution. And interestingly, to be candid enough, and I'm not going to say, I know they call the policy name. The policy where they call for go change the constitution of ECOWAS of Ivory Coast. Now somebody will not work inside the UN when a human rights advisor. Now go change the constitution of ECOWAS of Ivory Coast. And at the same policy back, they recommend again for go change the constitution of Guinea. This is senior UN personnel, not the human rights side. So in the time for telling, even we as human rights people, are we genuine to the cause of promoting and protecting human rights? Because if you know very well that by your profession, your professional ethics and conduct, no they permit to say, you forgo do that kind of day. No amount of money, not for make you even associate yourself for go do those kind of things. And then ECOWAS begin blunder. From the time they change the constitution, ECOWAS be supposed to snap firm against Ivory Coast against Guinea to the extent we can see this school at Guinea. To the extent what happened in Mali. So what ECOWAS they try for doing in Niger, they want to try for cover up their failures.
But a lot of school of thought, another school of thought is say, because Niger and Nigeria actually they get some small issues there. That is why Nigeria is so much passionate about leading, for going inside Niger.
No, in fact, the issue of Nigeria gets so much issues with Niger. I think that's not the wrong thing. A lot just say you see Niger and Nigeria, it's just like Salone, Guinea and Liberia. We get beaucoup people there now where they Guinea, where they Salone, Guinea man, we are just the same. That's what happened between Niger and Nigeria. That make even the northern part of Nigeria, they condemn, say they cannot go and kill their own brothers and sisters. And so the whole thing, the way they say it was, but it's so complex in the Nigerian politics. Not an issue where Nigeria does a cardinal to this so and go inside it until you study the dynamics and the politics of the governance system in Nigeria and how they tie up with Niger. It's so challenging, and if you're not managed well, it therefore creates a serious backlash in Nigeria, where I'm not thinking say Nigeria prepare for that kind of situation. For mortgage, the internal security in the interest of ECOWAS.
But look at this thing again. A lot of people they consider Nigeria as a democratic coup, electoral coup, na Indian set against the young people, the presidents right now. The same way a lot of people will say the same thing happened to Sierra Leone. So down in Niger, in Ivory Coast, in Guinea, in Mali, na military coup. So the question where a lot of people they ask, why Nigeria of all, where a lot of people, where in fact and then a court say the rig election gets the moral high ground for go and say they're not for overthrow, where they all now the same coup, just that they use gun and then they use ballot.
No, not so cool. And I would beg for disagree with you. Until and unless a competent court of judicature suggests the contrary, there is no way I confirm and I agree with you. Say the elections in Nigeria are not legitimate. The president not legitimate, and even the one within a Salone. Until there is a competent court of judicature suggests to we say that election.
You said competent court.
Huh?
You said competent court.
I say a competent court of judicature. That's the language and way they use for in the legal context.
So if we pull the legal content and just take the word competent, take it a court.
When you talk about a competent court, now the one where gets the
responsibility right.
We get the jurisdiction.
Yes, for the
jurisdiction. Yes, the legal jurisdiction. At least that jurisprudence for make a handle those short nature. Now we talk about competent court of judicature. That are the emphasis.
So with all of them things there.
For now, if that man Tinubu say that they act in the interest of regional solidarity, there is legitimacy. We cannot call his presidency a coup because they don't go through the elections until a court overturns say he is not legally voted for by the Nigerian people. Then in presidency becomes illegal.
No, yeah.
But for now, the president of Nigeria and is a constitutionally elected president of Nigeria.
All right, continue for the tweets of the program. The program we watch right on our Korea's right on we are on YouTube and on Facebook. We get just less than 5 minutes for go, and now just use this opportunity for go into another issue, quick one for let me see how best we can able for discuss. And this one gets to do with the free quality education. The Forum newspaper get this big banner and I just read two for you. Then we can go into the discussion. Quick one. We get for the free quality education. Forum newspaper say big blow for SLPP. Free quality education fails the nation. And then let we look again. This other people on African 24 say, is the free quality education free at all? So these are the two paper they want to just take follow up of the program today. What do you make up of them two headlines there? You might mute. Okay, all right. The program where you watch right now we had right on na Koreans right on we are on YouTube and on Facebook, and we get on Facebook, YouTube 460 where you watch with 132. Please, you where you watch now for like the program and share and for we, and on Facebook we get 452 where you watch right now with 190 likes. Please not for like, and you where you watch on Facebook, please I encourage you for come over to YouTube and then subscribe, because we they talk about how many subscribers right now. We talk about inside YouTube 85,994, and we want for reach 100,000 by October for the silver plate. So please support me for each side. Yes, Mr. Bani, I've been ask you the question about them two story there. You actually let's take them again. The African 24 says the free quality education free at all. The other one when at the forum newspaper say big blow for SLPP, free quality education fails the nation. What do you make up of them two headline there?
Well, technically, me from the human rights perspective, I don't know the benchmark where the newspaper used for talks in the free quality education don't fail the nation, because he get for show the parameter and the benchmark we use for reach to that kind of conclusion there. And a number of things they where they conclude for the way you look at the issue of free quality education, the teaching materials, the learning materials, the school structures, the environment, the liberation for teachers, I call about school feeding, then the distance of the school, which side they go attend. All those things now they put together for can decide say A, B, C, D, all that they no succeed at all. Then you talk say now a complete failure. But if now one or two aspects fall short, you cannot draw that general conclusion, say now a complete failure. I think we need to forgive credit to which side credit day. If you talk about even about school enrollment, at least if they not begin, they're not able to say forget better sense. But for the mere fact that if they go school, I think that's another value. For say me at the go school, that because they say at the go school, than where they sit down and goes. I think that's something I'm not going able decide, because I not do any survey or statistics for talk say this the free quality education don't fail. The only thing I would say is that I know for sure that there are challenges in the free quality education where we as a people, as a government and as community, we need to do more, because we as community we get responsibility not only for me picking go to school. I also get for make sure say I follow me picking we go to school, for make sure say check with the school for know whether we picking the land or not the land. And because some of we're so busy, if we're not businessman, we're so busy but with business what they do than even for check you picking in academic what is it. And so we get a responsibility. So if we travel, that man they travel talk about failure, I don't know probably himself if we include himself as part of the failure, because how many times you don't even follow the picking for going to school, for even check the picking book, for even ask the teacher how the picking they do, give me some feedback, or even tell the teacher. So if those are all things we need for them engage.
If you don't picking a private school, they go now.
Well, I know. So now they all go to undermine the free quality education, because say they begin at the school, they begin go to service. You see,
but wait, when the ministers them and the government heads of MDs, the way they go, they picking and go to private school.
Well, now then they say one thing that they do differently. They all undermine the same principles.
Because the question I will ask you, the former minister of education, whose school in Peking they go? Not private school.
Yeah, now what I try for tell you so.
The president of all in Peking na private school they go.
Now I try for tell you now, so even though you get it right for choice, for make a choice of who say you pick for go school, you can get a responsibility in terms of boosting. Now we could talk about this issue of local content. So
yeah, you guys.
Let me begin local content policy.
Maybe this kind of thing I want for draw for you, not correct. Me na cookery seller, I dey cook cookery, but I need me own cookery. I dey go by other side. What you could think?
No. Then I don't think cookery seller the only thing where you go suggest not to cookery seller na like the restaurants. I don't see restaurants where staff them at the restaurants. Then they work there, but then they go buy the food because of the cost. Then they go buy outside. Theory. But that cookie seller, he must eat in cookie because he must taste the plazas. He must notice it.
So no,
but
I ask say because it can happen. In the case of Usa, you notice say this cookie seller the cook. Yeah, we all can eat, but he not the eating your food. What do you go do next?
No, which means something is wrong with the food.
So now the minister not in Pikine go private school, in go government school. The president in Pikine go government school. What do you think?
No, but that don't make me Pikine go there.
No, but no wait.
No.
You say if it happen that way, they mean say something wrong.
The example they bring cam, the reference to the bring cam, you know they correlate, they look.
No, yes, it do.
Reality.
It do because for example, I'm not really remember which president is, but he actually say if me get a free education in the country and then me picking on the go school, na the free education, that means say something is wrong.
No. It don't mean say something wrong. It don't mean say something wrong. That na in your own preference. Let I tell you, a number of people that day, if you go ask the least person right now, now Abacha streets, if you get the opportunity, you want to go to international school.
Why?
Now I tell you, so that you don't that way international school.
Because they say the international school is the government school.
Yes, and then they learn more. You see? So now the individual perception, the individual thoughts,
so now this again don't carry to the same thing what we talk about. Say the president, the minister feel say them private school then the land pass their own government school then. So why they not the developer now for letting self land like that?
Well, the thing is, what you think they need for do, we need for tell with ministers and presidents or whosoever what they do in governance. Now for make sure they create the enabling environment for teachers the way they teach now the government sponsored school for make sure it become more lucrative. Okay. I tell you, brother, a number of them government sponsored schools. Now just the timing no more. Now because some of you don't get time for engage the teachers or for even engage with them, but they tell you that they do well.
Okay.
Government sponsored school, mission school, they are doing extremely well.
Yes, some I agree. Thank you very much. And we reach to this point, and I want to wish you a very good day. And I appreciate your time with you inside the program, like always. And they always,
thank you very much.
They always look forward to get another fruitful discussion.
Anytime say when I can engage me, I can always say, all right, once again.
Thank you very much, and get yourself a good day.
Yeah.
All right, his name is Alphonsus Bani. Yes, in the executive secretary for Human Rights Defenders Network. We join me inside the program today. For we talk about the different issues, then we will actually get Moisa Kekura about the internet not given chance for a camp because we won't forget, Moisa on the other hand and then Alphonsus on the other one. But unfortunately, you see how it happened. So yeah. While we get a balanced taste, Alphonsus there and Moisa there and then they fire together, then they challenging coming more. Unfortunately, the internet not give me the chance for me to do so. So we want to tell you all, thank you for joining me inside the program today. Until then, we'll see you again on net inside the program we call Weird, okay? So by the way, go see them and talk to you. And by the end of this month, the last Saturday inside this month, we will be next week Saturday. You get Imran when I go there at the show for take the monthly review for we. Until then, my name is P and the Freedom Fighter. God bless we country Sierra Leone where we call we are. I'm out. God bless we all.
Another morning again inside we had plenty things then they happen. I wonder how sneeze again what go here today. But this be small country we had. Anyway, before I go to the wala now we had, let's just go to my kitchen and check my colors.
Yes, colors. Some man really like for eat in the morning. Some people say them just like when they eat don't sleep. Other people say na the cow they like, especially when they cook the soup or plasas where they like pass all. So now that make we dey bring to you this program where we call Colres, as we dey look at different story them na the front page and inside the newspaper. So not forget to